we're going to do a tier list, but let's look into the future and let's fast forward. Let's look at the forearms. Good amount of brachioradialis, good amount of overall extensor. We're seeing a little bit more of a long insert going on here. We see really good thickness in the forearms. The forearms are looking pretty solid, and if he could cut down and get some vascularity too, he would have a good amount of shape. He would have good size. I think that those forearms could honestly be incredible. I'm going to say that they could be A tier. Biceps, he's a little bit more pronated. That's going to make his biceps appear longer. I think they're maybe a little bit shorter, but they do have good shape and they seem to be filling out well. And even if he's storing a little bit more fat there, overall, I would believe him that he's going to have bigger arms when he cuts down. And we even see some brachialis going on, and I tend to count that with the biceps. The triceps, we could see a good amount of lateral head roundness. So to me, the biceps and the triceps are both looking pretty good. I'm going to say that the biceps, B tier, just because he doesn't have as much peak. Triceps, I think those could be A tier. Looking at the shoulders, we just don't see as much rear delt. We don't see a lot of roundness. Over here, we do see a good amount of thickness though, and I think they match the shoulders, but I absolutely would want him to develop a lot more of the rear delt so they pop out in any pose just a little bit more. With that said, I'm going to say the shoulders, they're going to be C tier right now. I think they really need to come up. And the biggest thing about the shoulders is for a physique like this, they need to match the upper trap. And to me, they just don't really match the upper traps because look at this. If we trace it out, all of this is a lot of upper trap. Generally, people have a hard time getting their traps big enough to match their shoulders. We kind of trace the shoulder right here. The shoulder is comparable, but maybe even smaller than these upper traps. So to me, the proportions are slightly off. And honestly, I want him to have huge traps. I feel like he has the genetics for it, but we need the shoulders to come up. The number one thing is going to be bring up those rear delts because right now it's kind of this melted appearance, but if he pulls out the rear delts, all of this will kind of round out, making everything look more like a ball. And then he'd have the big traps. Homie could be balling, but he's not quite there. For that reason, we're going to say B tier for the traps. Then if we consider kind of the infraspinatus, teres, I think those are pretty good, but I'm still going to count everything as upper back B tier. Traps could be A tier, maybe even S tier though. Look at this shape. The shape is going to be phenomenal. Then it's just a matter of how does everything else look around it. Looking at the lats, I really like the overall taper. I think that they're going to be relatively medium, maybe even low insert. We're going to call that, we'll call it B tier for now because he's going to have to get them very, very big to be able to match his arms. The chest needs to come up quite a bit because we don't really see a lot of thickness in here. I think it could be decent if he cut down, but I still don't think it would have enough mass. So I'm going to say that the chest is C tier. It's going to be the shoulders and the chest for me that really need to come up. But like here in this picture, look, you can see the forearms real well. Great shape. And then abs, obliques. I think the obliques will be pretty good. I don't know about abs yet because we just don't have enough thickness really showing through quite yet. We're going to say that these are to be determined on the abs and the obliques. And then finally, it's the erectors. And look at this, guys. You get this line only whenever you have erectors. If you don't have this line, do you even lift? Because you're missing a whole muscle group that is solely responsible for power, for all of your heavy leg movements, your heavy back movements. If you don't have that, it's completely limiting your growth and it's making your lower back look not jacked at all. He's pretty good. We're going to call it B tier.